Hi everyone, hope I have another interesting video for today. I'm going to speak quickly through this video to try and get through it as quick as possible. On the screen here you'll see an article from The Hill which is dated the 7th July 2025. The headline reads, Trump DOJ releases video debunking Epstein conspiracy theories. So let's just read quickly. The Department of Justice released surveillance footage Monday to back up its determination that disgraced financier and convicted SO Jeffrey Epstein deleted himself in the New York City prison in 2019. The nearly 11-hour video was filmed outside Epstein's prison cell during the final hours of his life while he was awaiting trial on additional federal ST charges. After thorough investigation, FBI investigators concluded that Jeffrey Epstein self-deleted in his cell at a Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City on August 10, 2019. The DOJ wrote in a memo co-signed Monday by the FBI, this conclusion consistent with previous findings. Okay, next on the screen you'll just see the video that I watched. It is on a channel called Michael Haynes on YouTube. The title of the video is Jeffrey Epstein Jail Cell Video, 10-hour CCTV footage released by Trump DOJ. Okay, next I'm just going to read a disclaimer. I'm not an expert in security systems, surveillance protocols, or forensic video analysis, particularly as they relate to correctional facilities or other secure environments. The observations and commentary I provide in this video are based solely on my personal viewing of publicly available footage. I've not conducted any technical or forensic evaluation. Additionally, the questions posed and discussed in this video were formulated through my own observations and explored with the assistance of ChatGPT, an AI language model, for the purpose of inquiry and discussion. Nothing in this video should be interpreted as a definitive claim, expert opinion, or accusation. Okay, the Jeffrey Epstein jail cell video is 10 hours, 52 minutes, and 23 seconds in total duration. I personally viewed the footage in full only from the timestamp 11 hours, 20 minutes, and 52 seconds PM through to shortly after 12 AM. While I did briefly scan through the rest of the footage, I did not observe the presence of a control tab in the top left corner at any other point except from 11, 20, 52 PM until 12 AM. However, I may have overlooked something, so I encourage you to review the footage independently to verify this for yourself. Okay, now you'll see a timeline of the on-screen activity that I observed from the Epstein jail cell footage. These are the timestamps, so you'll be able to go to the video yourself and look up these exact timestamps to see if what I've observed is true. I'll just read this to you firstly. So at 11:20, 52 PM, a brief flash appears on screen in top left corner. 11:20, 57 PM, control tab becomes visible in top left corner. 11:21, 22 PM, control tab disappears. 11:21, 34 PM, a cursor appears on screen. 11:23, 11 PM, control tab reappears. 11:23, 58 PM, control tab disappears briefly, then immediately reappears and remains visible until 11:26, 50 PM. 11:27, 08 PM, control tab briefly flashes on and then off again. 11:31, 24 PM, control tab reappears. 11:43, 18 PM, cursor swishes across the screen, control tab disappears. 11:43, 19 PM, control tab reappears and remains on screen until 11:58, 59 PM. 11:58, 59 PM, video cuts for 1 minute. 12 AM, video resumes, control tab is no longer present. So next I'm going to show you on the screen the footage. What I'm interested in is the where the cursor appears on the screen in 2 instances, and then I'll obviously just show the video cuts for 1 minute, and then I'll read to you the questions that I asked ChatGPT and the answers that it gave, which are very interesting. Okay, next on the screen you'll see the video footage. Okay, now for the questions I posed to ChatGPT, and I posed 2 questions. It gave me 2 answers. So The first question. So answer this question related to Epstein being held in a federal facility with enhanced security protocols. For the provided screenshot from a prison video camera, there is a pop-down editing box that appears in the top left corner of the screen, and the minute the video disappears. The timestamp is 11:59 p.m. and the video subsequently turns at 12 a.m. with 1 minute of footage missing. The pop-down editing box starts appearing in footage provided by the DOJ after approximately 11:20 p.m. and stops appearing in the footage after 12 a.m. and does not appear again in the footage provided by the DOJ. Is this standard functionality for a security camera in a federal prison facility with enhanced security protocols, as Epstein was kept before and after his self-deletion? No, what you're describing is not standard functionality for a security camera system in a federal detention facility with enhanced security protocols, especially under conditions like those surrounding Jeffrey Epstein's incarceration. Here's a structured analysis of the situation based on best practices, known as BOP standards, and the details you're provided. Surveillance standards in federal facilities. In a Federal Bureau of Prisons BOP facility, particularly one housing high-risk or high-profile detainees, surveillance systems are expected to record continuously with no intentional time gaps, timestamp footage in real time, matching logs and round reports, prohibit manual overlay or interference with live footage during recording, secure video files in encrypted formats with audit trails documenting any access, transfer, or editing. Your observation raises red flags. Pop-down editing box. The appearance of a UI element like an editing menu or overlay box on official surveillance footage is not normal. Surveillance footage exported for view should be raw or watermarked with no UI artifacts from editing software. If it appears during a specific time window, e.g. 11:20 p.m. to 12 a.m., and not before or after, this could indicate manual interaction, playback manipulation, or footage being reviewed, edited, or spliced during that window. Missing footage, 11:59 p.m. to 12 a.m. 1 minute of missing footage in a critical time frame, such as surrounding a suspicious death, must be explained with system logs or hardware error reports. The DOJ and BOP are required to preserve the full chain of custody for surveillance in such cases. Any gap must be accounted for via system malfunction report, power failure record, server error logs, security incident report. Otherwise, the footage may be deemed compromised or tampered with. Epstein's circumstances warranted heightened monitoring. Epstein had recently been on self-deletion watch and was moved to the SHU. He was a high-profile detainee under public scrutiny and therefore subject to Special Minister of Measures, SAMs, or enhanced observation. Multiple cameras should be functioning in tandem, including corridor and cell-facing units with redundant backups. Okay, conclusion. No, it is not standard functionality for a federal prison security camera system, particularly one in a high-profile unit like the Special Housing Unit, SHU, at MCC, to show editing interface overlays on official DOJ released footage, or to have unexplained missing timeframes, like the minute between 11:59 p.m. and 12 a.m. These anomalies, particularly when they occur only during the critical hour at Epstein's death, will be flagged in any professional forensic video audit as potential indicators of post-recording manipulation, non-continuous capture, editing before public or legal release. Okay, now for the second question I posed to ChatGPT. The question is, for the security cameras used in the unit, would there be a pop-down control panel that would appear on the video? And why would a cursor be apparent also on the video, moving across the screen and then disappearing? So here's the answer. No understanding proper operation of prison surveillance systems, especially in a federal detention centre like MCC, there should not be a pop-down control panel, e.g. menu bar or edit overlay, a mouse cursor appearing and moving across the screen, any GUI graphical user interface elements visible in the exported or viewed surveillance footage. These visual elements strongly suggest the footage was not pulled directly from the camera's raw archival footage, but rather recorded from a playback interface or screen, potentially after being accessed through a software system like Gentech, Avalon, or Milestone, I may not pronounce that correctly, or another VMS, a video management system. Here's what this indicates technically and procedurally. Live or raw surveillance feeds do not contain GUI elements. Surveillance footage captured by DVR, NVR systems, or IP-based security systems is saved without user interface elements. A cursor or menu bar appearing indicates the footage was captured through screen recording, or that someone was actively navigating playback software when the video was exported. 2. Evidence chain of custody protocols forbid this. For any investigation, especially surrounding a suspicious death, DOJ and BOP protocols require export of the original unaltered footage, not a recording of someone clicking through it. Standard export formats include watermarked MP4, proprietary timestamp files, or AVI with digital hash signatures. A cursor or overlay appearing breaks evidentiary integrity and could render footage inadmissible in court. Why would this happen? Best case, benign explanation. A BOP or DOJ technician recorded screen activity while scrubbing through footage to locate or isolate a segment and accidentally included GUI elements. Worst case, malicious or negligent explanation. The footage is tampered with, edited, or selectively redacted, and the cursor control bar reflects manual manipulation. And then it gives a summary of standards and the bottom line, which reads, no, it is not standard or acceptable for a prison security video to display a pop-down control panel or a visible cursor in any footage submitted by the DOJ or federal authorities, especially in a high-profile case involving a detainee like Jeffrey Epstein. This strongly indicates post-capture manipulation, improper export procedure, or potential tampering, and would warrant a forensic video authenticity audit under chain of custody protocols. And there we have it. I'm just going to leave it there. Bye again for now.